welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, what? Oh, yeah, not my YouTube channel, but still, don't forget to subscribe. Anyways, I'm Suweytaa Athira from Group C, and today I will be completing an assignment about falsafah dan isu semasa. Oh, calm down. We're not done yet. And the topic is horror stories. See, she's excited. I'm sorry. Horror story across the country. But wait, I know what she's complaining about. This is too bright to be talking about horror stories. Shall we switch the location? Ta-da! So I think this would be much more suitable and much more eerie for what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's start. I'm sure that many of y'all would have not known about this very crippling horror story in India. I mean, most of us Indians would probably know if we watched the movie, and it's a true story and it has different variations to it. Some say this happened, some say that happened. That is exactly what horror story across the globe means, right? You never know which is the precise story. All you know that it has happened and there's evidence, or maybe life that has been taken away. So, what true story I am talking about? So the horror story that I'll be talking about is something that could give us all goosebumps. It's a story that happened in India, and it's called the Demonte Colony. So this colony, right, it was situated at St. Mary Road, Madras, India, and it was owned by, as I said earlier, Lord John Demonte. So Lord John Demonte had a wife called Mary Demonte and a son, Christopher Demonte. The son was sent away to England in the year 1810 to further his study. And that's when, throughout that period of time, is when his wife started falling drastically sick. Lord Demonte's wife started falling drastically sick, and she was labeled mentally unfit. So what Lord Demonte did was he called back his son Christopher Demonte in the year 1816 to come back to Madras and live with them, and they would do their business just here. But to their despair, Christopher Robin's ship crashed mid-sea on the way back to Madras. And not longer later, he found out that his wife was actually raped by one of the men in the colony. So in his anger, he started murdering one by one of the men in that place. And the women, they didn't know what to do. Some were running away, some managed to escape, but when the villagers heard so much of gunshots, what's going on in the colony, they rushed and circled around the colony and asking Demonte to open the door, open the colony, let people see what's happening. So they were so afraid of the gunshot, right, that they couldn't think, and they could see their people getting killed in that colony. I mean, despite knowing what was happening and all, they were concerned about their people getting shot here and there by John Demonte out of voraciousness, right? So they were so, scared, feared, scarred, and they started throwing fire towards the colony. So what happened was, the whole place caught fire. So the whole place burned off, and everybody in that house died. So everyone in that place died, right, because the villagers set the colony on fire. That's where the haunting started happening. Not few days after the whole place burned down, they started hearing doorknobs clicking on and off, and shadows passing by, and children's crying for help, women's crying, and sound of, when people are caught on fire, the yelling they do, the screaming of help, right? They could hear that almost every night. And not to make it even more scarier, but even though I've watched this movie like numerous amount of time, right? But when you're talking about this in this situation, God knows if I could go to sleep tonight or not. Anyways, So when they have gotten to know about all this situation and all, they started seeing shadows moving around, gunshots, and to make it more worse, there was this one security man. He was very intrigued to know what could be so scary about the Demonte Colony, right? So what he did was, he went there and he explored the place a little and he took a picture. He took a picture of the colony, I don't know, out of victory or happiness, or I don't know, he was happy to take a picture of it. But his happiness actually didn't last that long, because he was actually found dead the very next day, and the photo in his phone was gone. You know, because he actually came home and he showed all that to his family members, right? They all saw it. But then the very next day he was found dead and the photo was gone. And then, not forgetting this very important part, that John Demonte actually wanted to gift his wife, before all this thing happened, he wanted to gift his wife a very beautiful handmade customized necklace with so much of jewels in it. So it actually cost millions of money in our country to make that necklace. So a lot of people have actually thought that since the house got burned down, right, the necklace should be somewhere inside there. So a lot of people who ventured and went in to take the necklace and came out, like so successfully, saying that they came out with the necklace, the very next day they were found dead, and the necklace automatically was back into the Demonte Colony. You might be wondering, how could the necklace, go back there, right? Yes, I had the same thought as well. But then only I realized, and after furthermore researches, right, it was said that, when that one specific individual takes the necklace out, the necklace was in the colony and it still is in the colony. So when one person take the necklace out and proudly boasted it about it to his friend, the next day he was found dead and the necklace was gone. And a very few time after, a few other people entered and they have came out successfully with the necklace, they were all found dead. So this was one of a very scary story. Imagine, even if you were to set your foot inside the house, anything could happen to you. And to just steal a property from that house where so much of voracious things has happened, and scary things, gunshots, spirits, and cryings and all were to happen, I wouldn't step inside that house. The biggest question is, I don't know how would I even sleep tonight. So yeah. So this is actually one of the very legendary living story of Demonte Colony, and until today, that house was not built. That whole row, that whole St. Mary Road is empty, and the whole place looks so dull and eerie, and it looks even more scary at night. People avoid, a lot of people who works around there, they finish their work at 12 and they leave. They were never around there after 12. This is what researchers and interviews have said lah. So it is like a never-ending horror story, because finally there was no ending to it. There was just numerous amounts of deaths, numerous amount of unfilled, spirits and gunshots, and more to come. We could never actually find the ending of this story. It's just researchers compiled together and what I'm giving to you today. So just make sure that if a thing that you can learn from this is, if you were to know that a certain place has a bad background, right, then try to avoid it. Don't do it because you're excited and you want to try. But unless if we're gonna do, then good luck.
Okay.
So that is all for today. I really hope you liked horror stories across the country with Athira. So I chose India, and my other friends has actually chose different type of genres. So don't forget, if you have the time, please scroll through and like all of my other university mates assignments as well. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like mine, because it is very important. And I really hope you enjoyed the video and the story time with Athira. I think that's all. So have a great day, have a good night's sleep, because this girl, she's camping up tonight. So anyways, bye bye. Can we like do a dramatic effect with editor? That's me. Editor, we're gonna put a dramatic effect. Okay, bye.